Hi, folks. This is Don and Linda with the North Country Fishing Report. And you know, Linda, with our last show, something really stood out to you. This guy started telling you about, he was, remember, when we're doing a show down by New York City, we have a lot of folks that are interested in the saltwater market. And the whole resource of our salt water is mimicking some of the challenges that we have for freshwater here.
That's very true.
So, you know, let's tell everyone what so fascinated you.
Well, there was a gentleman who came into the booth and started talking about flogging. And I had never heard that phrase before. I had no idea what this meant. And so I asked you, what is he talking about?
Here's the thing. That wasn't what I really wanted to talk about with the salt water. We wanted to talk about the tuna fishermen. But that's okay. That just shows that you and I, when we do these, this is spontaneous. This is just us going back about our own experiences. No,
Yes.
But what you're talking about, and this guy was perturbed about this. He says, you know, I don't think this should be allowed in fishing. He watched people what they have is, if you can imagine, they go to the side of the boat, and they have like this funnel type thing, like binoculars, a scope that they can look down to the bottom and they can see the fish on their spawning beds or whatever, and they can target their fish this way. And for some reason, that really bothered this guy. You know, there's so many new advancements in fishing that old-timers, and maybe not just old-timers, but a lot of people really are taking exception to some of these technological aids to make fishing not the same sport. We've talked about this so much,
Yes.
but it's still, we find it surprising how many people that come up to us in the booth and complain about it. If you remember, this one guy that we've seen now for 3 years, he talked to us 3 years ago about coming to this area and why a family would like it. And we told him all the tremendous opportunities. And it wasn't just around Meissner. It was around our whole area, including over near Malone and St. Lawrence County in general.
Sure.
And so he came up and he bought some land, and he has fallen absolutely in love with it. But he started talking to us about his friend that took him ice fishing on Chazy Lake. And he says, it's unbelievable. This guy's apparently got a lot of money and got all this forward-facing sonar that he was using in ice fishing. And he said you'd see these families and these people go out on the ice, and they would drill a hole and hope that there would be fish down there, like the way we've always done it. And he said his friend had all this equipment, and he would look at him, and he would say, go over there about 80 yards that way or 80 feet that way. And he says, take your auger and drill a hole. There's a whole bunch of fish over there. And he says every time we do it, we drill a hole and then let down our jigs, and we started catching fish after fish. And it really, you know, a lot of people were really sort of jealous and took exception to us being able to do this. But that's what new technology does, and that's what money can do. Boy,
Yes.
it costs a lot of money.
Well, we've talked in the past about reading the currents and reading the water. When you're dealing with hard water, you can't really read it per se. But when you go out, and I'm talking specifically about you, Don, now, because when you wade out or you're in a canoe with Rust or Dave, you're looking at the environment and you're studying that.
And you know, I had people ask me that. He says, this one guy asked me, how do you know when you go out there that that's where the fish are going to be? And he says, do you see something? And I said, well, I can tell by the water. I can tell by changes in coloration and all these things. But that's based on a lifetime of entering into this world and trying to adapt to it and become part of it. And that's the way we've done it. Now, in today's world, really the fishing business, and another guy used these words. He says it's all run and driven by youth. It's the young people that have computers and they're so used to using this stuff that they really fall into these new developments in technology.
But I think that I think that causes the enjoyment of learning about how to find fish without the aid of technology. I think that it destroys that to some degree.
Well, so do these people. We had so many people that were, they're fascinated by what we show them about our area, because we not only show them unbelievable catches of big fish that people have taken, and we've put together on a screen board that we use. It's it's probably one of the most impressive parts of our whole presentation. But they also see us in the videos that we've shot in these tributaries catching all these muskies and fish, and they're seeing how it's so basic what we're doing. I'll say to them, now watch right now. My buddy Dave has just seen a fish over by the shoreline, and watch what happens with Rust. And you can see Rust cast out to the shore. You see him standing there watching this thing come back, and then all of a sudden his body tightens, and he sees that fish following it. But this is all very basic, and all these people realize they can do this. They
right.
don't need to be champions of some of the new technology.
Exactly. If they trust their instincts, they're probably going to have a much better time.
Well, let's hope. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell people about ways that they can enjoy this tremendous resource that we have here. Until next time, folks, this is Don and Linda with the North Country Fishing Report.